Welcome back and a very happy Diwali to you. Well, we have seen the commodity prices run up in last 1 year, but it also has been a very good market for the commodity exchanges as well, especially after SEBI taking over. And the latest, of course, is that the options as well have been launched for commodities just last month. Mrugank Paranjpe, MD and CEO of MCX, now joins us. Mrugank, hi, a very happy Diwali and New Year to you. First of all, could you summarize the last year in terms of commodity markets? How has been the year for commodity derivatives and exchanges like you?
If 2003 was a landmark year for commodity derivatives because that's when it was all started, I think this is the most important year that I would say in terms of being a landmark year for the commodities derivative market in India. And why would I say that? Essentially, the coming together of FMC under SEBI and then how SEBI has really taken this forward in terms of first getting the entire risk mitigation platforms in line with what has really again been a world-class secondary market always in the equities world, putting together the entire framework for integration of commodities and then paving the path for what I think is the development of this market, both in terms of products. So we have already seen the announcement for options. We know there is a roadmap in terms of indices and other complex products, as well as expanding the markets in terms of participation with institutional participants, both domestic and foreign. So I think this is what I would say was the biggest achievement, and this is why I clearly think this has been the most landmark year for commodities in general.
Well, absolutely, Mrugank, it clearly has been. But while the options have been launched, when do you see them actually start to trade? And what commodities do you see trading, first of all, in first phase rather?
I think the beginning is done. As you are aware, the CDAC, which is really the body which is working with SEBI in terms of giving industry and other inputs, has already given most of them. We now await the final report of CDAC to be placed for the board and the SEBI board to decide the way forward on some of the issues which are still outstanding, maybe in terms of the exact design of the contract, some of the issues on position limits, etc. That we believe is probably 4 to 6 weeks maybe from now. Give a couple of weeks for the exchanges to come back and apply to SEBI. We are still very confident that in the first quarter of the new year, last quarter of this financial year, we will all see trading in options happening. When it comes to which contracts, again, we've seen in the discussions that there is a lot of emphasis on liquidity, on participation, on increasing the usage of options by newer segments. And in line with that, in the non-agri segment, we are absolutely gearing ourselves towards preparing for gold, for copper, as well as for crude. And in the agri segment, we are well geared up now in terms of CPO and cotton.
Mrugank, we've noted that down, but yours is the only listed exchange when it comes to all the exchanges. So what are the kind of numbers you are looking at in sense of value, volume and growth as well?
I'm happy you bring up the point about the listed, which is what sometimes makes us tempted to talk about quarter on quarter, year on year. I see this as a much long-term journey. I see this where commodities market is poised exactly like the securities market of the late 90s. I see the fact that we will have much widespread participation coming in. I see the fact that we will have many more contracts, many more products coming in. I also see the fact that we are putting in our clearing corporation. We've got SEBI already having enhanced the risk regulatory mechanism. We'll just take this market, I think, very, very big and probably similar to the way the equities market grew in India in the last 20 years. So to me, in the long term, that's the path. Next year, we are very hopeful that some of the short-term landmarks that we spoke, coming in of options, coming in of at least mutual funds and some of the other domestic institutions, operationalizing of our clearing corporation, those would be absolutely immediate next 6 to 12 month landmarks that we are hoping to see before the next Diwali.
Well, absolutely, and it's a 50% jump that the MCX stock as well has seen since last Diwali. So huge going gains is what we've seen in commodity and the exchange as well. Mrugank, thank you so much for joining us. But with that, it's time for a very short break yet again. Next, we will talk to a noted numerologist, Sanjay Jumani, and take his picks when it comes to this asset class.